Polu Kai has always been bigger than me. And I think that's something that, you know, in the military, that's ingrained to us, right? This is bigger than me. You know, I'm here to serve for everyone and not me. And I think if you have that kind of mindset, people see that and they understand that you're a team player and that you really do care about their success as well, you know.
Amen. Folks, look up Sean Jensen right now. Check out Sergeant to CEO. Here's what I can say about Mr. Sean Jensen. If you are out there and you are trying, you're making an effort diligently, that man will give you the time of day. If you are going out there and you are trying under your own steam to do everything that you can in order to push that ball forward, whatever your mission is, Sean will give you the time of day.
Because you may not like what I hear sometimes, but though, I will give you straight up truth. If you're doing something that's crazy, I'm gonna tell you it's crazy. You know, I think the key to any success in business is one of the absolute first questions you have to ask yourself, does it make sense? You know, the second question is this sustainable, or is this just a niche thing that's going to go by the wayside?
Yeah.
And I think if you're out there and you're pushing that ball and you've borrowed all that money from your family and you've exhausted everything and you still haven't gotten to where you're at, yeah, it might be time to start doing your day job again.
Right. Well, and I bounced 5P off of you when it was in its infancy. Before this thing was a book and just on Notepad, I was bouncing that off of you when I was still working at Bunker. I mean, my goodness. We were talking like, yeah.
I thought it was a great idea. I've always talked about SMEAC, you know, I always I use those acronyms, you know, and I tell people about it: situation, mission, execution, administration, command, control, logistics. I mean, you know, I understand it thoroughly. It's ingrained into my head. But at the same time, you know, when you talk about that stuff, there's so many parables, you know, that you can relate to the military, to the outside world. And I think, you know, it's indoctrined or it's ingrained in what I do. I don't have an MBA. I didn't, you know, everything I learned is through experience or specialized education and making mistakes. You know, you're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes, but you know, Sergeant CEO was really just kind of directed at, you know, to talking with veterans. I've had moms and dads contact my page and say, you know, my son's going through a bad time. He can't seem to get his act together. You know, do you have any advice? And, you know, and I'll chat with them. You know, I tell them I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor, but I promise you, as a sergeant, I've done more psychology work than most people will ever freaking do.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, having that Lance Corporal in Okinawa who wants to go back home to kill the plumber that's, you know, doing whatever, not saying anything, but, you know, so you run into these situations, and I think the military gives you a really good development. It was like a young staff sergeant told me when I was a Lance Coolie. He said, you got two choices. You can work for the Marine Corps, or you can make the Marine Corps work for you. And by that meaning, he said, you know, if you come out here and do your job, you're going to learn. At the same time, you're going to be earning that paycheck, but you will be recognized for that effort. And while that effort may not be immediately recognized in the field or you know, in your job, you come to think about it later in your career when you see similar situations, and you're able to go, yeah, I remember something like that. And then all of a sudden the solution pops in your head. You know, I tell my people all the time, you come to me with a problem, you better have 3 solutions, you know, because otherwise I'm doing your job.
Right.
You know, I don't want to do your job. I've already done that job. You know,
right. I heard you for a reason.
Yeah, I'm glad I guide you to help you, support you, give you the tools you need, but you're not going to be an effective CEO if all you do is sit behind a desk and do everybody else's job. You've got to delegate, you've got to coordinate and provide support. You know, I think about in my company, I think of like, we have a logistics side, we have an administrative side, which is the contracts and proposal side. We have an accounting side, you know, we have all these different things that supports the superintendent in the field. Now, what does that sound like to you?